Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry it took a little while to have another episode of this out, but if you'll now notice, if you haven't already, that the quality of this video does not look like someone took a turd and smeared it on your computer screen. It's actually pretty good. Also, I will be trying to use less profanities in my commentary because not a lot of you liked it last time, so I apologize, and let's do this. This episode, we're going to actually try to get to the Reinhold Manor, in which Lady Dahlia is awaiting with her problems about her golden apples. Just kidding, I didn't mean for that to be dirty. Actually, yes, I did. Now, what it's doing right now is it's telling you what you did in the last episode and what the story is so far, and it's pretty helpful if you save and stop for long periods of time. And we left off here. I don't believe we talked to this young lad. I believe his name is Percy, from what I recall. And yep, his name's Percy. He's the writer of this village, and he wants us to find directions to his house. That's a little sketchy, but I guess we're gonna get some valuable information from it, because he's gonna tell us about this curious village. Maybe it will become not so curious. Now, this kid wants to make your life as miserable as possible. He can't remember his address, but he'll remember that you have to go out the front door of his place, turn left, and at the first intersection, come across, take a right. How does this little kid remember all this, but not about 4 numbers and his street name? To solve this puzzle, all you really need to know is that the sun faces from the east, and you start at every house, follow the direction Percy gives you, and whatever house ends up facing the east, that's the answer. This puzzle can actually be a pain in the booty if you are unlucky like me and start off at every house, and the last one you get happens to be the right answer. But it's actually this one for those of you who don't want to do that, and you'll know you got it right if Luke gives you that creepy smile we talked about, or Layton gives this pretty slick grin of his.
Another puzzle solved.
I don't really understand why they give this little description of how to find the answer, because 1, you either looked the answer up and didn't care, or 2, you actually understood how to solve it, but I guess if you're a nerd like me, then it's pretty cool. Now, Percy's gonna give us that hot gossip he promised us, and he tells us that the Reinholds, which we're going to their manor, own the land and all the buildings, so I guess they're pretty snazzy. Let's grab the hint coins now. And what I wanted to tell you guys is right here. Sometimes when you click suspicious areas, it'll give you a red exclamation point, which means Layton or Luke wants to tell you something interesting that really has nothing to do with the story most of the time, and it'll just give you a nice quick puzzle so you can progress later in the game. This puzzle right here is a pain in my neck. I don't know, I guess I struggle with this one because I'd always forget to multiply by 2 because of the 12-hour time frame, or I'd forget the 11 o'clock times, but I know from previous experiences that the answer is 34, because from the 12-hour scale of time that you have, it occurs 17 times, and then multiply by 2 for 24 hours because of AM and PM. This puzzle is just super hard, and don't feel bad if you don't get it on the first try. I know it took me a long time and many tries, even some hint coins on that one. Phew! Now, as you might know, I'm a little flaky on some of these puzzles because I haven't played in a long time, but I definitely remember that one because I struggled with it so hard. Have you noticed that most of the characters in this game, besides Luke and Layton, look so derpy? They look like caricatures because they're so odd looking. I mean, look at this guy. He's definitely doing something. And what's with the people in this town always having puzzles for me? Is that what you do when you meet someone new? You just give them your problems? Okay, well, this guy is another guy in this town who doesn't trust us and thinks we're sketchy. I mean, personally, they look way more sketchy than I do, but I guess that's our job and we have to deal with it. This puzzle can be tricky if you don't know what you're doing, but don't worry, that's what I'm here for. I'm gonna help you through it. Keep in mind that you only have 2 ways, and then you have to submit an answer, so don't put 4 and 4 on each side. Put 3 on each side, and you'll be able to solve it that way. Because if you weigh it, like I just did, you'll know that the later one has to be out of 1, 2, or 3. This goes the same for 5, 6, and 7, and if it's neither of those, it's out of 7 or 8, so you can just weigh 7 or 8 and figure out that way, but we know it's between 1, 2, or 3, so we're going to weigh 1 and 2 together, or 2 and 3, doesn't matter. But we're going to weigh 2 and 3 together. If it's not one of those, it would be 1. However, 2 is lighter, so 2 is the final answer.
That should do
The reason I explained the other options of weighing them is because this one actually always varies on which one is the light one. I don't know why, but it does, so in case you're doing this puzzle, that's a little heads up. I'm going to try and go over all the puzzles with you guys. I don't know, is that something you want me to do? Hopefully it is, in case you encounter it and you need a little help. But, you know, I can't read minds, so any feedback will help. I'm going to try to get all the hint coins. However, sometimes they're really hard to get. I usually just click around, but sometimes you keep getting stuff like this, where it's just Luke or Layton just describing bushes or something in the background, sometimes even in the foreground. We're just going to continue forward. I couldn't find the third hint coin. Maybe there is none. Remember how I said guys look a little odd in this game? Well, this guy, Raymond, he's my favorite. I mean, look at those lips. Just look at him. So fabulous. So luscious. But, once again, we have another person in this town not trusting us. So, guess what? We're gonna have to solve another puzzle. This one for me is a piece of cake. Sorry about that. Here's how it's actually done. What you really want to do here is get all the animals to the other side without leaving more wolves than there are baby chicks, because the wolves will eat the chicks. And what you just saw was me not really paying attention to what I was doing, but then I sat there and I thought about it and I got it. What you want to do is do this in as least moves as possible, though you don't really get rewarded, so you can actually do whatever you want here. I think the least amount of moves is 11. Yep, it's 11.
That should do it.
The good thing about this puzzle is that you can fail a ton of times and it will never take off your total score. You can just keep trying. The only way that it will take off your score is if you quit the puzzle. Finally, it looks like we can get into the manor without having to solve any more problems from distrustful people or little boys who forget their address. I'm just going to try to find some hint coins before we go in. I don't really remember where they are in this area. I actually don't think there are that many. There may be one, but I'm going to skip it. Luke, if you're around teenagers of today, you might want to watch what you say. Looks like we solved chapter 1, and if you guys want to actually review what chapter and what you've done so far, I believe you can click open your trunk and click on chapters or the professor's notes. I don't really remember what they're called, but they're up there. You can review from there. I'm just going to find the hint coins here. You always want to find hint coins first thing when you go to a new area, because you'll forget them later. And it's best to save them up for harder puzzles later. If you're really confused about what's going on, or you just want to review what's going on with your story, then the Professor's Trunk mostly has a lot of notes and tools that you can use if you really if you're really stuck, or if you just want to go over what you have. I think we're going to end it off here, so I'm going to save. I promise next time we'll actually go to the Reinhold Manor and see what's going on there. Alright guys, see you next time.